Somewhere deep within you lies a spark, a seed of greatness buried beneath the dust of doubt, delay, and distraction. If you're hearing my voice today, it is not by accident. It is because destiny has issued you a wake-up call. Another year is slipping through your fingers, and with it, another chance to become the person you were meant to be. But here this time will not wait for your hesitation. It will not negotiate with your fear. Success comes to those who act with purpose, plan with clarity, and persist with faith. Today I challenge you, no, I dare you, to stop waiting, stop wishing, and start becoming. Listen closely, because what you do next will echo through the rest of your life. A definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Without a clear aim, without a definite goal that drives every action and every thought, a person drifts. Much like a ship without a rudder, the individual who lacks purpose is tossed by the winds of circumstance, never in control, never arriving at any meaningful destination. The world is filled with people who work hard but go nowhere, because effort without direction is wasted motion. To achieve anything of lasting value, you must first decide with absolute clarity what it is you want from life. This definiteness is not merely about having a wish or a vague desire. It's about forming a burning obsession, a desire so strong that it occupies your mind day and night. Napoleon Hill often emphasized that the universe responds not to half-hearted wants, but to firm, unwavering intention. When your purpose becomes definite, everything begins to align. Your thoughts, your energy, your habits, even your environment begin to bend toward that central aim. Clarity breeds momentum. It calls forth the people, the resources, and the ideas you need. But this clarity only comes when you make a committed decision. Not someday, not when it's convenient, but now. Too many people wait for the right time to choose a purpose, as if the future will somehow bring clarity they cannot summon today. But purpose is not discovered. It is declared. It is created. The moment you decide to pursue something with your whole being, the fog lifts. Indecision is the enemy of progress. It's not the lack of talent, nor the lack of opportunity that holds most people back. It is their inability to choose. They live in a world of maybes and somedays, never fully stepping into their own power. They talk of dreams but act without commitment. Their energy is scattered, their will is weak, and their life reflects it. Definiteness of purpose also acts as a filter. It tells you what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. When you know what you're aiming for, distractions lose their power. You don't chase every trend, every shiny object, every fleeting interest. You become focused, deliberate, and disciplined. And that's when the real power begins to build. Your actions begin to compound, your growth becomes exponential, and your confidence strengthens because you know where you're going. Every great achievement in history, whether in business, art, science, or leadership, was the result of someone who chose a definite goal and pursued it relentlessly. The size of the goal doesn't matter as much as the intensity of the commitment to it. A clear purpose gives meaning to your struggle, strength to your persistence, and a reason to rise when you fall. Without it, even small obstacles become overwhelming. With it, even mountains can be moved. The moment you choose a definite purpose and commit to it fully, you start tapping into power that lies dormant in most people. Procrastination is the assassin of opportunity. It is a silent thief creeping in unnoticed, stealing days, weeks, even years of our lives. While it may wear the mask of rest, preparation, or caution, its true nature is resistance. Resistance to growth, to action, to change. Each time we say, "I'll do it tomorrow," we trade our potential for a false sense of comfort today. And that comfort, seductive as it may feel, becomes a prison. The man who delays his vision is no different than the man with no vision at all. Delay long enough and dreams rot into regret. People fail not because they lack ambition, but because they fail to act on it. The world is filled with brilliant minds, great ideas, noble intentions, but few results. Why? Because thought without execution is powerless. Desire without motion is dead. Napoleon Hill warned that indecision and delay are twin brothers to failure. Opportunities do not stand around forever waiting to be seized. They appear, often suddenly, and they vanish just as quickly. The man who is prepared, focused, and decisive will grab them. The man who hesitates will watch them pass by, only to look back with a heart full of what-ifs. Procrastination thrives in an environment of fear and doubt. It convinces you that you need more time, more knowledge, more confidence before you begin. It whispers lies that perfection is a prerequisite to progress, but perfection is a myth. No plan survives without adjustment. No journey is free of missteps. Action is what clarifies the path, not thought alone. Every step taken, however uncertain, is a blow against fear. Every act of courage compounds into momentum. The man who acts, even imperfectly, is always ahead of the man who waits for certainty. Another insidious feature of procrastination is its disguise. It often masquerades as business. We fill our time with trivial tasks to avoid the one meaningful task that truly matters. We trick ourselves into feeling productive while avoiding the uncomfortable work of growth. A cluttered schedule is not a badge of honor. It is often a mask for avoidance. Real progress requires facing the difficult, the important, the urgent. And that takes discipline, focus, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. Every day that passes is a page of your life turned forever. You cannot store time in a vault. You cannot earn more of it. You cannot borrow it from the future. Time wasted is opportunity lost. And no man can reclaim what he has surrendered to delay. The clock does not care about your excuses. It ticks relentlessly forward, indifferent to your hesitation. While you ponder, others progress. While you wait for the perfect moment, others build, learn, and rise. The habit of procrastination, once rooted, becomes a mental pattern, a belief system that conditions you to accept delay as normal. Over time, you begin to lower your standards, rationalize your lack of movement, and surround yourself with others who do the same. This is how potential is wasted. Not in a moment of catastrophe, but in thousands of quiet moments of postponement. You become what you think about. This single truth, repeated by Napoleon Hill and echoed throughout history by philosophers, scientists, and spiritual teachers alike, holds more power than most people realize. Every thought you allow into your mind shapes your beliefs, and those beliefs influence your actions, your habits, and ultimately your results. The outer world you live in is nothing more than a mirror reflecting your inner world. If your thoughts are dominated by fear, doubt, limitation, or envy, then your life will express those very patterns. If your mind is focused on strength, purpose, abundance, and progress, then you will begin to move in that direction, often in ways you don't even consciously realize. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it, whether weeds or seeds, will grow. Most people go through life allowing the environment to plant thoughts for them. News, social media, the opinions of others, past failures, even random conversations. All of these act as seeds. But without conscious control, these thoughts rarely serve your higher goals. They are often negative, fear-based, or distracting. And once planted, they begin to take root, influencing your decisions and the way you see the world. That's why guarding your mind is not optional, it is essential. To think with purpose means to deliberately feed your mind with ideas that empower you. Books, mentors, affirmations, goals, all of these are mental food. Just as you would not feed your body with poison, you must avoid feeding your mind with destructive thoughts. Because once a thought is repeated often enough, it becomes a belief. And beliefs are powerful. They form the lens through which you interpret every experience in your life. A man who believes he is capable will see a challenge as an opportunity. A man who believes he is a victim will see the same challenge as an injustice. The event may be the same, but the interpretation, and therefore the outcome, differs entirely based on thought. Most people underestimate the creative force of sustained thought. They dabble with positive thinking for a few days, then return to old mental habits when life gets difficult. But true transformation requires consistency. A single powerful thought, repeated with emotion, backed by purpose, and affirmed through action, begins to reshape not just your mindset, but your character. The mind, when directed with clarity and belief, becomes a magnet for the resources, people, and situations that align with your dominant thoughts. This is not magic, it is focus. When you fix your attention on a specific goal or ideal, you begin to notice opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to you. Your energy changes, your language shifts, and the way you present yourself alters. These subtle shifts compound over time into massive change. Thought is the first cause. Before any invention, movement, or revolution, there was first an idea. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life. If you desire more success, fulfillment, peace, or power, it must begin with a shift in your thinking. Faith backed by action is the formula for miracles. Faith alone without movement is merely hope. Action alone without belief is mechanical and often misdirected. But when faith and action are fused, they become a force capable of reshaping lives and defying odds. Faith is the inner conviction that what you desire is possible, that your vision is worth pursuing, and that you are capable of bringing it into reality. It is not blind belief. It is focused trust, rooted in a deep understanding that the power to create lies within you. When that faith is not just felt but acted upon, it becomes transformative. Most people are taught to believe in what they can see, but all great achievements begin with belief in what cannot yet be seen. The airplane existed in the imagination of the Wright brothers before it ever took flight. The electric light lived in the mind of Thomas Edison long before it lit up a room. These men had faith, not just in the idea, but in themselves. They believed so strongly in the unseen that they were willing to act, fail, adjust, and act again. They were not reckless, they were relentless. That is what faith in motion looks like. Faith is what allows a person to take the first step when the whole staircase isn't visible. It gives courage in the face of uncertainty, and it provides resilience when the path becomes difficult. But faith without action is powerless. It becomes a comfort blanket, something people cling to while remaining stuck. Saying you believe you can succeed, but taking no steps toward it is self-deception. The real proof of faith is what you do, not what you say. Every action you take in alignment with your vision reinforces your belief. Each step becomes a declaration. I am serious about this. When you take action with faith, you are not guaranteed success on the first attempt, but you activate forces greater than yourself. The mind sharpens, ideas flow, people begin to take notice. Doors you didn't even know existed begin to open. This is because the universe responds not to wishes, but to movement. Napoleon Hill taught that faith is the foundation of all miracles and all mysteries which cannot be analyzed by the rules of science. It is the element that transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary achievers, but only when it is expressed through persistent effort. The man who acts with faith does not need all the answers before he begins. He does not wait for the stars to align or for perfect timing. He moves because his belief demands it. He acts in the face of fear, not the absence of it, and each action strengthens his resolve. Over time, this compound effect builds momentum. Failures become lessons, setbacks become fuel, doubters become silent, and the man who once only had a vision becomes the one others now look to for inspiration. The results may seem miraculous to others, but to the one who lived it, they are the natural outcome of faith in motion. Surround yourself with a mastermind. Growth never happens alone. The concept of the mastermind, as described by Napoleon Hill, is not just a group of people, but a coordinated alliance of minds working in harmony toward a definite purpose. When two or more minds come together with shared intention, something greater than the sum of the individuals is created, a third, intangible force that can produce ideas, strength, and energy far beyond what one person can achieve alone. This is not about having casual acquaintances or surface-level relationships. It is about intentional connection with those who are committed to growth, purpose, and mutual success. Every great leader, innovator, and visionary has relied on the power of others. No one builds anything significant in isolation. Even the most independent thinkers needed sounding boards, advisors, challengers, and supporters. A mastermind group multiplies wisdom and shortens the path to success because it brings together diverse perspectives, experiences, and insights. What might take one person years to learn through trial and error can be discovered in minutes through the counsel of a well-aligned group. More importantly, a mastermind keeps you accountable. It does not allow you to hide behind excuses or fall into complacency, because you are surrounded by individuals who expect and demand the best from you. Environment shapes behavior. If you spend time with people who settle for mediocrity, you will unconsciously begin to lower your standards. If you are surrounded by cynics and complainers, you will begin to absorb their mindset. But if you align yourself with ambitious, disciplined, purpose-driven individuals, you are pulled upward. Their habits challenge you. Their mindset sharpens yours. Their achievements inspire action, not jealousy. They become mirrors, showing you what is possible, and at the same time, they become a net, catching you when you stumble and pushing you forward when you hesitate. The right mastermind group is built with intention. It is not about quantity, it is about quality. One aligned, committed individual in your circle is worth more than 10 passive acquaintances. You must be selective about who you allow into your inner environment, because their energy and values will influence yours. Seek people who are not afraid to challenge you, who are driven by principles and who take responsibility for their own growth. These are the individuals who will not just support your dreams, but elevate them. The mastermind also introduces a powerful emotional dimension, encouragement and belief. When your faith falters, others can remind you of your vision. When doubt creeps in, their conviction can carry you through. This emotional reinforcement is often what makes the difference between persistence and quitting. It is not weakness to lean on others. It is wisdom. Even the strongest need support. Even the most disciplined benefit from shared energy. In moments of uncertainty, the collective belief of a focused group can reignite a fire that was beginning to fade. Great achievements do not arise from isolated effort, but from united minds working in harmony. When you surround yourself with the right people, you are no longer relying solely on your own strength. Time is your greatest asset. Spend it with intention or lose it with regret. Every person is given the same 24 hours in a day, but how those hours are used determines the course of a life. Unlike money, time cannot be saved, borrowed, or earned back. Once a moment passes, it is gone forever. Yet most people treat it as if it were infinite, wasting days on distractions, routines, and habits that do not move them closer to their purpose. They act as if there is always more time to begin, more time to change, more time to live fully. But time waits for no one. Every hour spent unconsciously is an opportunity surrendered, a piece of potential abandoned. There is a silent cost to wasting time, and it often goes unnoticed until it is too late. The dreams put off for another day become the dreams that never materialize. The conversations never had become relationships that fade. The skills never developed become opportunities missed. A wasted year is not just the passing of time. It is the erosion of possibility. It is one less year of contribution, one less year of mastery, one less year of becoming who you could have been. Time wasted compounds negatively just as discipline compounds positively. One day of neglect leads to another, and soon a habit forms, not of laziness, but of low standards. People often say they are too busy, but business is not the same as productivity. The real question is not how much you are doing, but what you are doing and why. Time spent on the wrong things is more dangerous than doing nothing at all, because it gives the illusion of progress. Distraction disguised as activity steals your focus and dilutes your purpose. In a world filled with noise, clarity of purpose and intentionality are rare and powerful. Those who use time wisely guard it like treasure. They do not allow every demand, notification, or impulse to dictate their day. They plan, they prioritize, they protect the hours that matter most. Living with intention means becoming aware of where your time goes and aligning it with what you truly value. It requires discipline to say no to things that are urgent but unimportant. It takes courage to step away from the familiar patterns that consume time but produce nothing meaningful. It demands that you ask yourself hard questions. Is what I'm doing right now moving me forward? Is this helping me grow, serve, or fulfill my purpose? The answers to those questions shape the trajectory of your life. Those who succeed at the highest levels are not necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate. They are the most deliberate. They treat time as the non-renewable resource it is. They rise early, focus deeply, reflect often, and act consistently. They understand that each day is a building block of their future, and they refuse to waste it on things that do not matter. Time management is not just a productivity strategy. It is a philosophy of living intentionally.